The keys to finding your desires and getting started all starts with diving into the things that you want to be doing. Okay, so this is the first part in the series, and I want to help you really walk through and know exactly what you want to do. So just know this one is a little bit longer than the other ones, but this is really going to help you start to understand what it is that you want to be doing. I want you to step into that alignment and fully understand how to develop what it is that you want to do and actually take action forward. So who am I? Most of you know me already. I am Candace, okay? I am here to support you as you become ready to take the next steps forward. I help women gain that confidence and make those transformations in their mindset so that they can create that business that they want to do, or that they can move forward in their life doing the things exactly in the way that they're meant to be doing them. Now, before we get started, I want you to just take a deep breath. And I want you to take a few minutes to set your intentions. Before you do any sort of training, it's always good to know and allow your mind to be open to receive those information and those answers to those questions. So what I do before I do anything is I always take those few minutes and I close my eyes and I really think to myself, why am I taking this training? Why am I doing this course? So that my mind will actually extract the answer for me. And, there's something about setting an intention before you do something that really awakens that mind and opens it up to receive the information. So if you need to pause this, please do. Do not feel like you need to rush this process at all. I want you to next allow the release. Take away all the stress and the worry for having to, find your passion, your purpose, and all these things. Don't let that stress be carried into this training, because that's not why you're here. We're here to find what you want to be doing, yes, but there is no pressure, okay? We often confuse our purpose and our passion with the jobs that we have. Yes, there are so many ways that you can be working using your purpose, using your passion, and all these things. But sometimes we are in our purpose. We are working, our passion is working through us in those moments that we share with others. So just knowing that you don't have to have that answer, and sometimes it's in a different form anyway. So just allow the complete release and the stress and worry to fade away. Into this course, we're just going to go over and help you really try to find that alignment. Now, if you practice mindfulness, basically what this does is it opens up your mind to receive the information that it wants to know. Okay, psychologists use this often in therapy just to, find the trigger words and find the different emotions that are connected to these words. Well, you can use this tool right now. You can sit there, close your eyes, and think of these words, and you'll have an instant response. Sometimes it's a feeling inside of us, and sometimes it's a vivid picture. Whatever it is, whatever the case, like these are ways that we take and find that answer. So I want you to close your eyes and I want you to think of this word, joy. I want you to really think, what brings you the most joy? What followed by what will bring you the most peace, or what peace are you able to give? And then I want you to think of the words soul purpose. Now, if there was any kind of resistance or any kind of stress that came out from just that phrase, that's okay. Okay, that is just your body's tensing up, feeling like you have to know the answer, because we've been conditioned to think that we have to know this answer by a certain time in our life and all these things, right? So take the stress off and just think, okay, that's what I'm here to find. First, we're going to analyze our strengths. Okay, so finding your purpose is really easy when you start listing out the things you're already really great at. A lot of times we are so focused on the next thing that we forget the skills that we've learned and developed along the way. Okay, so I want you to take a few minutes and I want you to list out everything you've ever wanted to do in your life. Okay, this could be something that was 5 minutes long. This could be something that was 5 years long. It could be from when you were a kid. Okay, write out every single thing you've ever wanted to do. The next thing I'll have you do is write out all the jobs that you've held in the past. Okay, I promise this all relates, and I will get to that in a minute. But write down the jobs that you wanted to have and the jobs that you actually held. The very next step is going to be listing out the qualities that you liked and the skills that you gained from these different jobs. Okay, and I want you to really think about that. Think about all the different skills you learned along the way so that you can really kind of start to stimulate that brain and that process of knowing what it is you want to be doing. There is a huge correlation between these two things, because we are the sum of all the things that have happened in our life. You know, when you start accepting your life's journey as those building blocks, it becomes so clear why you're meant to do the thing you want to do. Okay, our desires are the things that we want to help others with. Our current abilities are the things we're already really great at. Our past experiences are the things that we've done and accumulated and known and learned, all these things, right? And it all leads into our life's purpose. You know, we are designed to go through life and experience these different times so that we can be that person that's living in our purpose. The next thing is when we start thinking about what we want to do, we get afraid. It is a natural body reaction. It is a natural tendency that we have, and we will do everything in our mind to put it off. Okay, so when you're stepping outside of your comfort zone, you're doing something you've never done before, and there's all the reasons you're going to place in front of you, okay? How many times have you said, I just need to wait until, and fill in the blank, right? We've all said, I've said that. You know, how many times have you said that? And it been, you know, I need this like perfect moment, like right after the kids are done in school, you know, I don't have enough time. You sit there and you start listing out all these things. You know, the reality is that we want these perfect moments, right? We think we don't know enough. We fear we don't have the resources. And then we say we don't have the time. Okay, we start clouding our minds with all of the reasons to avoid knowing what our truth is. And like I said, it's because we're doing something new. Imposter syndrome starts to set in, okay? The definition of this is it's a psychological pattern, so it's been diagnosed, you know, it is a thing, okay? People with extreme self-doubt on their accomplishments, and it's like this persistent internalization of fear of being exposed, okay? They feel like people are not going to credit them with what they're good at. You know, your symptoms are just a lack of self-esteem. You start doubting what your thoughts are, your abilities, your achievements, the accomplishments you have, and you really start to downplay the things you've done, okay? Our negative self-talk is so high, and we start to feel inadequate, you know, and it's because there is somebody that's ahead of us, just even 5 steps ahead of us, that is doing things a little bit better, and it makes us feel so inferior that we never do the things we want to do. Now, when does this start happening? It's right before you start shifting into something new. Okay, days before you launch your business, or even the moment you tell somebody. Okay, I'm telling you, like the moment you start telling people what you want to do, you might even say, don't laugh, but this is what I want to do, right? And we say those things because we discredit ourselves before we even get started. I mean, how fair is that? We're giving, not even giving the other person an option to like what we want to do, or to say, oh my gosh, you're great at that. We are just so ready to discredit ourselves so that we don't have to get started on it. Now, why does this happen? Well, when we start doing something new for the very first time, it actually signals stress within our body. Okay, so our mind shoots off this signal and says, oh my gosh, we need to either fight this or we need to run away. And it's the fight or flight response system that starts going off. It shuts everything down. Our limbic system actually shuts down and turns off our creativity. So that just shows you how strong our mind is and why these things like really hold us back. But when you know how the mind works, Okay, it's so easy to combat it. It's so easy to like move forward and start really doing something different because you know it's just your body. It is your physical body holding you back because it's keeping you safe. Okay, our mind is meant to do things in the most efficient, effective, and safe way possible. So if it can save calories, your mind's not here to help you lose weight. Okay, it's here to help you stay strong and live. So kind of starting to see this pattern, and I'm trying to paint this really deep picture so that the next time you start feeling afraid to do something, you realize it's actually what you're meant to be doing. You know, there are times where your intuition will be, you know, nudging you saying don't do something, but when it's something that you're stepping into that you really want to do, you will be so afraid of it that you will not want to do it because you've never done it before and you don't have an outcome. Okay, you don't know what the end result will be because you've only seen what other people have done. So I want you to really hold on to that thought, okay? Now let's take a closer look. So here's our mind. Okay, well, this isn't our mind. It's obviously a triangle, but it shows you the percentages that we use in our mind. Okay, so our conscious mind, 10%. Subconscious or preconscious mind is 50 to 60%. Okay, our unconscious mind, 30 to 40%. Okay, so all of this total, right, is what our mind receives and perceives about the things around us. So as you can see, the conscious mind is pretty small, okay? So it's the things that are right around us, like the stoplight, like you recognize it as a stoplight because you've been conditioned to know and learn it as a stoplight, right? That is 10% of your mind is using that, and then there's a percentage that is memory recall that's like, oh, this is a stoplight, right? All these different areas are used together for our current moments. So the conscious mind being that it's right now, those are going to be your decisions that you're making right then based on like 10% of what you're perceiving. Our subconscious mind is the memory recall. So when you're saying like, I need to remember a phone number, okay, it's our automatics, our habits, these types of things. Now our unconscious mind, the things that we need to train and retrain, they're our long-term memory, okay, it's our repressed moments. Okay, so when you look at this and you see that 40% of your mind is something you need to train to do differently, that kind of opens up your mind to realize like you're holding yourself back because you've been trained to do so. Okay, so when you can see like all the different ways that our mind works against us on doing these new things, it kind of should really open your mind and say, oh dang, like that's why I was holding myself back, is because I've told myself for years, don't jump off the couch because my parents told me don't jump off the couch, okay? So building a new automatic. The more you train your brain, the better you start believing in yourself and you change your thought patterns, okay? We can take that 40% and really transform it into that solid, great 40%, the 40% that believes in ourselves, that knows that if we're doing this thing, it's because we really want to, and we just start training it to believe that. Okay, creating that new connection point and releasing the old thought is all that it takes in order to actually take action and move forward. The ways that we do this are through journaling, affirmation, and just taking action. Okay, I'll go over these just briefly. So some journaling prompts for you to use when you're trying to get some clarity on what you want to do. Okay, what can you let go of? What, if you were to sit there and think of all the things that are limiting you in this moment, like what thoughts could you instantly let go of? Like, I'm not enough, I don't know enough. You know, how can we clear out the space for new thoughts? So sit down and write everything that comes to your mind. Like, why are you so afraid of doing the things that you want to do? And why are you so afraid to actually take that step forward? And sometimes it is going to be like a physical limitation. Like you may be in a position where you need to stay in your job because of a certain reason. Okay, but there's a reason that you're holding on to this, and we need to get to the bottom of that so that you can either make the decision to wait things out and stay where you're at, or move forward and release it. Okay, so just kind of sit down and write down everything, all the reasons, all the limiting beliefs, everything. So the next thing you can do is ask yourself what you want. A lot of times we don't even give ourselves that few minutes just to ask ourselves, okay, what do I want? Like, what do I actually want for my life? You know, if you close your eyes and just ask, you know, what would I like my life to be like? I mean, when's the last time you asked yourself that? Or allowed yourself to feel that way? And, you know, if you're a mom, you might not have asked yourself that in years. So just take those few minutes and think about that. What do you actually want? Now, what are you excited about? So the next thing that can promote clarity is writing. What are you excited about in your life? You know, what were you actually doing well? Okay, when you start sitting down to think of the things you're doing well, it automatically boosts your self-confidence to like build upon the next thing. Okay, what are you so excited about that you could talk about for hours and days, months, years? Is there anything that you sit there every single day and you're like, man, I get fired up about this? Is it your religion? You know, is it your spirituality, your children, your dog? You know, is it helping people? You know, what are those different areas? You know, is it nutrition? You can start to see the patterns that I'm trying to pull from, and it's because you're finally allowing yourself to think about these things and taking a few minutes just for yourself. Okay, this is a great way to help you have that extra energy to know that you can take the next step. So the power of your words is everything. Okay, we speak out loud all the time, right? We speak to everybody all the time, right? And the science behind affirmations are exactly that, okay? It shows us that we're able to retrain our minds throughout these consistent words, these speakings. I'm trying to verbalize this here. But when you take one phrase and you apply it several times to your day, you start to believe it. Okay, you start to improve your mood along the day, and you're actually retraining neural pathways. Okay, it's science. There is a lot of science in here. So your neural pathways are formed over repetition. I mean, it takes hours. I'm not saying it's going to be within a day, but you could literally train your brain to think a new thought and make it the automatic over a course of like 1,000 hours. It sounds like a lot, but it's really not relative to how many hours you've been putting into telling yourself the other thing. So I want you to understand the power of the things that you're saying. When you're telling people you don't know what you want to do and you're saying it every single day, that there's no wonder you don't know what you want to do, because you're affirming it to yourself. You're telling yourself that you don't know what you want. So I want you to release that thought, and I want you to start saying, I have clarity over everything that I want, right? I am enough. I'm ready to receive these answers. I'm ready to receive those amazing things that life has to offer me. I give myself permission to be who I want to be. I am intelligent, I am wise, and I know so much about this. And I want you to list out those things that you know so much about. And even if you don't know about it yet, the science behind an affirmation, an effective one, is you say it between the window of 10 to 15 minutes before you go to sleep, because your mind will automatically ruminate over those thoughts well over the normal amount and rate of your other daily activities. So whatever you're trying to retrain, if you do it in that window right before you go to bed, you will start believing that new thought, and your mind will start figuring it out. So if you don't know how to program a computer, but you go down before you go to sleep and you say, I'm a computer programmer, I love programming computers, you will find the answers, because somehow, some way, the Google ad search will come up on your screen somehow miraculously, okay? Like, you will start having those answers show up for you because your brain is seeking them. You would have not have seen that message on the ad on the side of the computer if you hadn't said that to yourself. So I'm just telling you, like, your brain is so open and aware that knowing this, you can literally do anything you want to. And then again, some more affirmations for clarity. I am most filled with joy when I am doing this. And you just list it out, okay? People need my guidance. You know, I design amazing work. I know everything there is to know, right? No, I'm just kidding. But you can say literally whatever you want to, and your mind will start believing you. Now, what to expect out of the rest of this series, because this is the end of this one today. Basically, I'm going to give you that outline on how to create, you know, your business model, right? Whether you're going to do private coaching or, you know, group coaching, maybe you're going to design a course. Okay, maybe you have a product and you're trying to up-level that area of your business. I'm also going to show you how to structure your values, understand what branding actually means, and setting up your profiles to kind of reflect that. Okay, I want you to create that honest connection from the very start. I'm going to include these workbooks and reflection tools throughout the whole process, so hopefully you will gain a lot of insight and know how to take everything forward. So this is the end of this course for today, but I really hope that you took all the information that I put in here and really allow it to resonate with you. I hope that it can, you know, open your mind to the things that you want to be doing and allow that freedom and that expression to flow through, because you're so worth it. And you have an amazing ability and amazing value to be adding right now. And I want you to be doing that. I want you to feel that freedom to do anything in this world. So have a great rest of your day, and thank you so much for taking this course.